WWE had its most profitable year ever. But a lot of fans would also say that the product has never felt more empty. And that's a really interesting dynamic that made me want to zoom out. Because there's a difference between choosing safety and hiding in it. And I think true success is predicated on knowing which one you're actually doing. I feel like WWE is about to answer that question at WrestleMania. And I feel like that's a question that humans navigate all the time. My name is Armond WakeUp, and this is a Kairos moment because everything is wrestling. So boom, WrestleMania 42 is going down this April. And if you look at the card, it is stacked with equity. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. And this is not a video where I'm going to say that that's bad. These are legitimate stars. These are household names, and you want them front and center at your biggest showcase. WWE also has one of the deepest rosters it's ever had, full of legitimate young talent. Obafemi, Trick Williams, Dominic Mysterio, Jacob Fatu. And when it comes to showcasing your future, all of these guys should be prioritized. I feel like fans don't have faith in the product right now. Long-term stories are the bread and butter of professional wrestling. But what some describe as long-term, it feels like it's dragging. Viewership is down. Mistrust is high. Fans are being priced out. Political relationships and ideologies are being inserted into the product. Here's what I think is happening. When people don't know what to do next, they end up reaching for what already worked. It feels like it's the right thing to do. I get it. I understand the logic. You know that this works. You know how people respond to this. So go back to the well and it'll work out. But safety has a cost that doesn't show up on the spreadsheet right away. It shows up when the audience is watching out of habit and not investment. And yes, WWE is financially successful right now, but you can only cash that check so long before the well starts to run dry. Again, I'm not saying safety is inherently bad. And truth be told, that stance is too easy to take. And if you know me, I can't do that. That's not the real conversation. Sometimes familiarity is the right move, especially in uncertain seasons. Sometimes wisdom is playing the hits. See, I'm not saying familiarity is the danger. I say that danger is returning to what's familiar and positioning it as strategy. There's a difference between being anchored in what you know and hiding in what you know. Anchoring says, I'm going to ground myself here until I figure out the next thing. Hiding says, I'm staying here because the next thing scares me, and at least I know this works. I don't believe WWE is anchoring. They have had ample time to really build new stars and execute captivating storylines. And truth be told, they haven't been terrible. It's been decent. And in wrestling, you either want the audience to be hot or cold. You don't want them to feel indifferent about you. So instead of owning the fumble, at the end of WrestleMania, we're going to see Triple H in the post-show, and he's going to brag about this being the introduction to a new era. I'm not buying that. No, no. But in an odd way, I can relate. There have been times when I defaulted to what was familiar. I felt like it was the best move because I didn't know what to do. My gut knew I needed to try something new, but instead I went back to familiar environments, familiar habits, familiar relationships. They say you deal with the devil that you know. And what that communicates is, these are situations where I know what to expect. And again, I want to address both sides because it's not all bad. Sometimes going back to the familiar is going home. It feels like it's quitting, but it's actually recalibrating. And there is wisdom in that. But the other side is that sometimes returning to what you know feels like a lighter lift, but it's actually a heavier load. Yes, it is familiar, but you're carrying the weight of knowing that you should be doing something different. Deep down, you know the new thing is difficult, and you're uncertain if it's going to work. And you don't like the way that it makes you feel because it puts you in a place where you are not in control. The question is not, are you playing it safe? The question is, do you know why? Because if you can answer that honestly, if you can say, I'm returning to this because I need to stabilize, I need to build capacity, I need to be strategic with my timing, I would define that as anchoring. But if your honest answer is, I know I need to do something new, but I had time and resources, and I squandered it. That's hiding. And in instances like these, you cannot grow and hide at the same time. Now, if you want to go deeper with this idea, I did a full coaching breakdown inside my Kairos community, where I walk through how to identify the difference between anchoring and hiding in your own life, go ahead and go to ArmondWakeUp.com and sign up. My name is Armond WakeUp. This has been a Kairos Moment, because everything is wrestling.